In May of 2011, I heard the very sad news that a dear friend of mine had cancer and that she had weeks or, at best, months left to live. And I remember my profound sadness at the prospect of losing my friend. Perhaps you'd like to meet my friend. Come here. Come here, girl. This is our fox red Labrador, Hannah. She's rescued, and she has been one of the best friends that I've ever had. And I remember sitting in the veterinarian's office, tears streaming down my cheeks when I got the diagnosis. And I remember the vet saying something very profound. She said, Hannah doesn't know she's sick. She has no fear of death, so she lives in the moment. So enjoy those moments that you have left with her. I kept thinking about that statement. Isn't that a blueprint for how followers of Jesus should live? Because of Christ, we should have no fear of death. Because of what He has done for us, we don't need to live in regret of the past. And because of Christ, we don't need to fear the future. Christ has truly freed us to live in the moment. I began to journal all these insights that I got from my friend Hannah. I decided to use whatever time I had left to process preparing for loss and dealing with loss through the lens of my canine relationship. And eventually, as I wrote, my friend said, this could be a book that could be helpful for people in approaching loss, a very approachable book on loss and how you deal with it. By no means do I mean to make the loss of a dog the emotional equivalent of losing a spouse or a child or another significant relationship. But our canine friends are important to us, and the principles of loss are the same. I have lost a child. I've lost both of my parents. I could have lost my wife to breast cancer, but she is thankfully a survivor. I've lost relationships, and I've lost church community through situations that seem so ridiculous in retrospect. And in fact, I wrote a book about some of those called When Bad Christians Happen to Good People. That was the genesis of what has become my new book, Stay, Lessons My Dogs Taught Me About Life, Loss, and Grace. Hannah taught us so much during her joyous 11-year romp through life. And when she did pass away, we wondered if we would be interested in dog ownership again. But rescued dogs have a way of finding you. This is our newest rescued Labrador, Maggie. We found her running alone, hungry, wounded, and scared. She brought a lot of baggage into the relationship that we had to learn to deal with, but the lessons have continued. Maggie has taught us about learning to trust when you've been abandoned, the danger of forbidden fruit that led us to a late night and very expensive emergency animal clinic. Maggie taught us about how easily we forget who we are, and that hiding is our first response when we sin. God has used these very different canine friends to teach me profound lessons about life, loss, gratitude, unconditional love, friendship, and grace. Stay is a joyous celebration of our best friends. Theologian Martin Luther called dogs one of God's most amazing gifts of grace. And I agree. We can learn a lot from these amazing creatures. So would you join me and my new instructor Maggie for those lessons in my brand new book, Stay.